Today's kind of a dirty, wet, rainy, misty, miserable day. But the work's not going to stop. I've got to get the weed whacker out, and I've got to get in the garden and start weed whacking some stuff down. When I'm done in the garden, I got to move out to the yard here. It's a lot of work, guys. It's a lot of work. And when the weather is not, being nice to us, it just makes the days go on longer. And stuff just grows and it keeps growing. So today's really going to be all about cutting grass, and cleaning the yard up, because man, it does not look good. It's just very brutal right now. So all right, well, without further ado, I got to get some weed whacking done. So it's been about an hour or two, probably more like 2. I got most of the trimming done. I'm a little tired, but I actually didn't go into the garden first. I did around everything, around the yard first. I'm gonna go into the garden now. I want to show you this though. It's actually kind of funny. Our squash has started to grow out of the fence, so I got to get in here and pull that out. And holy smokes, so I have a ton of weeds to cut in here, so I gotta get on that. So I was back here on the back of the kitchen, and the light here didn't turn on. I had to do some testing. Something burned up, I guess, in the motion sensing part. So, lucky for me, I did have another one of these, so I'm replacing it. I know this one works because it was what was on our shop. Just so you know, for reference, where I am, I'm up here on the outdoor kitchen here. All right, so I got the new one on. I'm gonna go grab a couple bulbs. We're gonna throw it in here, and we're gonna turn the power on and see what happens. Well, it works. So now we can go back to cutting grass. We did a good job yesterday getting all the, the edges all cut with the weed whacker, which is cool. Unfortunately, with it being raining and wet, I didn't want to run the lawnmower. Matter of fact, I have to use the push mower to do all of this because my riding mower is waiting on a couple of bolts. So the weather's changed and it's nice today, nice and sunny. Things are drying out a little bit, so we're gonna go ahead and get the mower started up and then just do our best push mowing. Well, it's looking good. A lot better than it did. Can't wait to get my riding mower back though. So that's all cut. That's not. So I still got a little bit left. This area here. It turns out I have to mow my gravel, but we got plans for that later. All right, back to it. So now that I'm done with the mowing, and I think it looks pretty good, the next thing we're going to be working on today is to tear down this structure here on the old pig pen. Now we're going to leave the pen area because I've really got to let the ground in here harden up and not be so muddy. But the only way to do that is to just leave it alone. So what we're going to do, that's what it looks like inside. Pigs are dirty, that's for sure. Not dirty in the sense of dirty, they're pigs. So anyways, so yeah, we're gonna tear this thing down and kind of reclaim a little bit of ground here. So, all right, not actually sure how this is gonna work out, but we're gonna give it a shot anyways. So we got most of it torn down. Got it laying over here in pieces. Still want to take this section here down. So once we get that done, then I got to figure out what we're gonna do with this spot. I suspect I might just fill it in with some gravel for now, and then yeah, I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's get rid of that. All right, well, we are all set. We got everything moved out. There's a few little things I still got to do. There's an old post there I got to get the tractor again to pull out, but for the most part we are all done. Now all these little ruts and stuff from the tractor earlier we'll fill in with screen gravel once things dry up a little bit, but for now doesn't look too bad. And we gained a little extra room over here that's flat, which is really nice. Now, if you're new to the channel, this space right here was our first pig's pen. When we got our new pigs, we basically turned their pen around, made it a little bigger, and then made their pen in the back there. We're gonna go ahead and let that solidify, kind of settle down, drain, and then we'll pull the fence down. We'll get the tractor in here, smooth everything out, and yeah, we'll probably have to throw some gravel on that if we do plan to use the ground for anything, just because that will be pretty muddy. But it's going to take a good solid year for that to do its thing, so we're not going to be messing with that much this summer or into next summer. So, but for now, this looks pretty good. Pretty happy with it. So we've had some terrible days lately. Just rainy and a lot like this. Hey, Whitco, what are you doing, buddy? Come on, Tasunka. Hey, honey. So if you're new to the channel, we have a pond that starts or that forms every time it rains big. And here it is. During the winter time, this was an ice rink, and yeah, it fills up with water every single time it rains hard. So what can you do? Well, while Tasunka rolls around in the dirt, oh boy, I've got some dry, well, at least it's not raining. I'm gonna fire up the tractor. I want to get some gravel over near the new porch area because we have a low spot, and I need to start thinking about building our V for all of our cookwood, but we're gonna do that later. But I want to get the gravel over there because right now water is flowing back underneath the porch, and I don't want that to happen anymore. And we are expecting to get some pretty big rain here soon today. So let's fire this thing up and grab some gravel. So I've got all the gravel in place. It looks fluffy. It's gonna settle, but for right now what I'm gonna do is grab a few of the cinder blocks. We're gonna get them over here, get them in place, and then grab some 2x4s and basically get the area set up so that we can start bringing cookwood over here, you know, little by little, and get this area filled in. So that's what it'll look like. So we're going to fill that whole thing up with all the cookwood that we'll be using. Now, I suspect we'll probably fill it up 2 or 3 times during the winter time, but that is a nice big area for cookwood, so pretty happy with it. What do you think there, Mr. Whitco? Huh? Oh, you want to play with your ball? Okay. Despite having been here in Maine now, this is our 3rd summer, we still feel like new homesteaders, because the truth is we really haven't been able to do the homesteading side other than having a couple of pigs and the garden. The reality is for us is these first few years we knew we're going to be all about building infrastructure and getting the property set up with all the buildings that we wanted to get set up with to kind of get kick-started off. We've got a few more big builds. The one that we're working at right now, which is the carport, and then before winter comes, we're going to put up a 20 by 20 garage. With those buildings come trying to set them up with lights and some electricity. We're probably going to be using solar in each of the buildings, but we're not really sure yet how that or what that's going to look like. But those are the big projects, and those consume, you know, quite a bit of time, but that's not all the time. I think what we do the most of are the small things, the little projects. You know, for instance, today I had to move gravel over by the porch here. I needed to set up the cinder blocks and 2x4s for our cookwood. And then in another area, I had to clean up a pile of deck blocks and cinder blocks I had. I had to also clean up a pile of wood that I had. When I'm done with this little video, I've got to go get the tractor and I've got to move some stuff over by the woodshed. I mean, it's never ending, you know. There's just so many little projects that keep you busy during the day. It's unbelievable. But this is part of it, right? I mean, we're building a homestead from scratch. You know, when you look at the earlier videos of Jen and I, you know, we pulled into this property. It had a small hunter's cabin, an outhouse, and a small shed. The wood, the forest was all the way pressed up against the clearing. I mean, it was tough. It was a tough piece of property, and you know, little by little, we just keep chipping away. And it's all of these small projects, these small day-to-day things that really keep the progress moving along. Now, from a YouTube standpoint and from a you know, big bang standpoint, yeah, these big projects are awesome. I mean, we love building, we love doing it. I'm learning a lot by building each of these buildings, and you know, all of the buildings we've put up have served a big purpose for us, and it's been pretty exciting to work through all of that. But again, it's the little mundane ones. Those are the ones that really kind of move things along here. Right now, Jen is in the outdoor kitchen and she's doing some canning of some cucumbers that she had, and I'm pretty excited about sharing that with you. But that's, you know, she's working on that. She's got her own thing going on. As for me, right now I have to go out and drop some more slab wood out on our future road back here so that I can get that done. I'll take you over there in just a second and show you kind of what I'm talking about and what I'm doing over there. So, yeah. Little projects, man. Little projects. That's what keeps the homestead moving. So how do you build a road in the middle of the wet forest? Like this. That's how we're going to start it out. slab wood. We got to get all the way out there. But yeah, we got a long way to go.